Hello. Um, Welcome to the second video, actually. I recorded about 3 videos at this point, but I've only uploaded the first one because I guess, the first one just felt right. Um, yeah, it's been so long. I literally have no idea of what I'm going to talk about in this video. Um, Hate being able to hear myself, honestly. I have no idea how people do this, like YouTubers and stuff. Um, yeah, a lot has happened. Like I said, I recorded 2 videos besides the first one, and I didn't upload them um, because I didn't feel comfortable, or I just didn't like the outcome, you know. And I guess today I'm just gonna cram all the information into this video, all the information from the previous 2 videos that you guys haven't seen. Um, the the end is yearning. Yeah, the year is ending. I'm not lying when I tell you that I literally was about to say the end is yearning for some reason. The year is ending. Um, uh, yeah, it was a really good day for me. At least there was a lot of growth. Um, I'm a, you know, I'm a teenager still. I'm not gonna be a teenager for the majority of the next year, but I am a teenager and I'm growing a lot. I'm transitioning to being an adult and taking on more responsibilities. I think I talked. Actually, I did talk about it on my previous videos, but you guys haven't seen it. So, yeah. First of all, let's begin with why I make these videos. That was the title of the second video, and I make these videos because I feel like there's a lot of things that are left out from our lives, and by left out, I mean like a lot of things that are just filter. They're filter when you experience something that might help you or something negative that taught you something, you either keep it for yourself or share with a small, not audience, but like a small circle. I guess your friends and stuff like that, your parents maybe, something. And I feel like there's a lot of those things that could benefit other people, could help them, you know? So I guess that is why I make these videos, because I want these experiences that I go through or these ideas that I have to remain around for, I don't even know for how long these videos are going to be around. Maybe something is going to happen in YouTube, or at least all the videos that were previously uploaded on YouTube will disappear. I don't think that's possible, honestly, but that could happen. Or maybe this will just remain around forever. And if that happens, at least this message will reach some people. Even if it is just one, I guess, you know, uh, the purpose is there. I want the things that I learned to help other people. And maybe, you know, like I said, like I said on the video, I've learned a lot from a lot of people on the internet, just people who were great thinkers or just random people who are recording themselves on YouTube. And I feel like just documenting your life and documenting how things affect you is great. And it's much more, it's much greater when you can impart that to other people that don't even know who you are. I just think it's cool, you know? Um, so yeah, I guess that's the reason why I make this video. I just wanted to put it out and see what people think. Maybe this is also what you think about, like maybe we share the same idea about how to share our experiences and you want to do this. Go ahead, do it. That's what I would tell you. I feel like my entire life I've been just putting it off, Not my entire life, obviously. I didn't always want to make YouTube videos, but I felt like I always wanted to sort of connect, or like I said, just share something. Like, yeah, I don't really know how to put it into words right now. That's just the feeling that I have. I want to be able to help other people in some way, you know, even if it is in the smallest thing. And yeah, that brings me to the other topic, which is what happened to me. If like about a month ago or a few months ago, I have been going through a lot of pressure. I feel like just personal. It's not like nothing bad. It's not like problems or anything like that. It's just like I push myself to the fullest. And for the second time, my face was paralyzed. Okay. And I couldn't move the left side of my face. This was the second time. The first time happened when I was 16. I'm 19 right now. And it was hard. It was hard not because of, that. It was because of how he was the straw that broke the camel's back, basically. Okay. Because for so long, I've just talking out my feelings. Thankfully, lately, I've started to kind of realize how stupid that is, like to just bottle up your feelings because you're a man or something like that. I just have that wrong idea. And probably some of that still remains around in my head. And yeah, I just like suppress those feelings. But um, I find it hard to not try hard because I feel like if I'm not trying hard, I can't complain. If I'm not trying hard, if nothing comes, I can complain. I want to be able to complain. And actually, I remember, I don't know if this phrase has already been out, has already been like um said by someone else, but I like to think that I came up with it. And is that you have to deserve to be tired, you know? And yeah, I think I live by it in a way because I like to do the best that I can so that afterwards, if it pays off, then that's great. If it doesn't, then I have the right to sit and be mad about it and be angry about it because I did everything that was in my hands to, I guess achieve that goal or, just um succeed. And I guess that is obviously very toxic because even though it was rewarding to do all those things because I knew that at the end I was um gonna be able to complain. He, yeah, it just paralyzed my face. It seems. At first I thought it was like something more serious. Obviously, I went to the doctor and they told me that it didn't affect my brain. It was probably just a muscle. And I asked them if it was like stress or like lack of sleep, and they told me that yeah, it was. That's one of the reasons or one of the um like causes of this effect. And yeah, I was talking to a lot of people telling them like, but I don't feel like I've been going through a lot of stress. I probably have been, like exerting myself, but I don't think I have been, kind of like slaving myself, And I remember this lady told me that sometimes we just go through a lot of stuff and we dissociate. We don't really acknowledge how bad we're doing at that moment. And I guess that just made me realize that it was true because I wouldn't I wouldn't even leave myself some or like give myself some time to cool down, some time to relax, some time to do something. For example, I would talk to my girlfriend for a few hours, and throughout that time, I would be writing down notes about something, that I'm studying, maybe economics, my English, because I'm an English teacher and stuff, and I would just force myself to kind of like get out of those moments that are supposed to be just, I guess, breaks. My girlfriend calls them me time, but I feel like that's so toxic. Like to think that the only the moments that you enjoy are like you time. I feel like, yeah, I guess that's just psychological, but it seems to me that is sort of like a way to tell yourself that like your entire day is not about you. Like you're not like your life is not about you. You know what I'm saying? Your life is all about the grind or your studies or your job or other people, and then only a few hours a day are your you time. For me, every time, like my entire life is me time, right? Because the things I do are obviously conducive to the things I want, even if I don't like them. Um, and yeah, I would constantly like flicker in and out from those moments, just do flashcards, search up something. I realized that I didn't know something about a subject that I am supposed to have mastered. Um, and I would just go back to them and just study in the middle of it. And my girlfriend would be like, obviously, she wouldn't complain, right? But she would be like, bro, like, just quit it, dude. Like, um, and yeah, I guess for me, like I said, it is fulfilling. Those moments are fulfilling. But for my body, my brain, and my just my health, they're not, because I'm constantly just forcing myself to meet my own standards. And I guess, yeah, it feels like just coping when I say this, or like to like auto sabotage myself or self sabotage. Yeah, self sabotage myself. But I feel like it's good to just take breaks and to lie back sometimes and just not do anything. And, you know, maybe block some time during your day when you're literally not going to do anything besides enjoying your time. Because for me, it would be like, oh, I'm still enjoying my time. I'm just gonna like review this a little longer. I'm just gonna take a practice test. I'm just gonna do my flashcards. I'm just gonna do this, do that. And then it turns into a second study session, right? And like I said, it affects you. It affects your brain. It affects your body, even though you don't realize, because your body is a machine in and of itself. So if you just overexceed yourself, or if you ask more than it can handle, eventually you're gonna see the effects of those bad habits. Um, a lot of something is always bad. You must have a balance. And I guess when my face paralyzed, I learned that. I realized that I had to chill. I realized that I had to um relax, find some balance in my goals, because my health was in the line. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's just what I want to tell you guys today. That happened to me, and I feel like maybe that's you right now, or maybe that will be you, or that was you. And I guess um yeah, okay. I don't even know why I did that in the middle of the video. Anyhow, just take breaks, you know, find a balance. I feel like in the first video, obviously I explained it much better, but yeah, yeah. Um oh, something else that happened. A lot of things that happened in this like 3 months, I think. No, not 3 months. It's been 2 months, about 2 months. So what happened is that I got a job. So I think I can say that I became an English teacher, right? Because I'm tutoring two girls. They're both 14. Um and they're learning English. They're learning pretty fast, actually. Um I'm still adapting to the job, obviously. To like learning how to teach and how to deal with younger people, because obviously older people kind of have an idea of how valuable like this skill is. And obviously they even like pay more attention because they're spending their own money usually. And kids don't have that, they don't spend money on it. They don't have any idea of how useful it is. And yeah, I mean, they're kids, and they're trying to have fun most of the times. So they're not very serious about it. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's the things I'm dealing with. But overall, it's going great. It's great to have a job. I, you know, feel more motivated to even continue and like scale this into to turn it into my full-time job, you know, make some money from it. Obviously, for now, have bigger goals in the future, but we're taking it slow. We're taking it slow. um, yeah, I just like I've been doing so many things that at some point in my life I was afraid of, you know, and it's amazing to be honest, because I can share this to you right now. Like as a kid, I would literally be afraid of, I don't know, going out and buying something in the convenience store, you know. So I would literally sit on my bed being like, "Oh my god, I'm so hungry. I want to eat something. I want to buy some sweets." And I would sit there and think, "Should I go?" Because I was afraid of having the interaction with the, you know, with the girl at the convenience store. No, it wasn't a girl, by the way, it's a lady. She was probably back in 60s or something. And I would be afraid of that. Stupidly enough, I would be afraid of that. I would be like, oh, I don't like that. I feel like she's gonna judge me or something. I was so like underdeveloped, you know. I was so socially deprived to the point that I didn't even feel like talking to people like that. And if you were to ask people who were my friends at the time, they would tell you that I was a very witty person. Um, I learned English really quickly, and you have to be a person who speaks a lot to learn English, right? So I guess that just gives you an idea of how witty I was outside of the real world, you know? And yeah. Uh and now, you know, I'm doing all these things that are still challenging. And I mean, that happened when I was like about 15, 16, right? That used to happen. There used to be a recurrent problem for me, just like being afraid of talking to people, like interactions. I was so afraid of that. I had social anxiety, right? And now, like just doing all these things, going to these places by myself, seeing myself doing things that I'm obviously not an independent adult right now, but seeing myself being able to do those things, you know, it's so like crazy because now I be, you know, doing things that I used to do with my family or with like obviously I don't know an adult taking care of me as I was doing that, and now doing them alone, you know, it's so I don't even feel it when I do it. I don't be like, oh my god, I'm doing this. It's more like, dude, this is normal. But hey, like one part of my body, of my brain, remembers that Florian, that person, that guy who was just like completely afraid of doing all these things. And I know that it doesn't sound such a great of an improvement because obviously everybody has to grow up at some point, but it just goes to show how much like you grow. And seeing it, obviously I'm 19, everybody's gonna go through this, or you probably have already gone through this. But yeah, just the realization of being able to do that is so great. Um, and so many other things like teaching people, you know, teaching people, like publicly speaking, you know. Um, I'm also like part of these sort of like company, not really a company. I'm just an employee, right? And I would be like a gator in these weddings. That's also my second job. It's a side hustle, sort of. I guess I do it from time to time, and this job requires me to talk to people, to literally like not like you know, it doesn't make me be their like boss or like the superiors or something. Their superior or something. It's more so like I take on a image or like I take on power over a lot of people, and I don't like doing that because obviously I barely got started. I have fun. It was fun. Not gonna lie. Met a lot of cool people. Did a lot of stuff. Um, But yeah, I'm still afraid. Like some part of me is still getting used to all these things, and that's actually something that I freaking love. Because when I turned 19, I gave myself a gift, and it was sort of a curse that if I backed up at any moment in any of those situations, obviously there's no like I want to kill myself or something like that. Obviously, it's like if you do it, you did it, and you will know how to feel about it. And I'm an overthinker sometimes, so when I do that, I have done that like twice. Okay, probably after I promised myself not to do that. I haven't done it again, and I have faced like more challenging situations than those I didn't do it when during. And yeah, bro, the first time it felt like I myself was literally torturing myself. Couldn't stop thinking about it. I felt like I don't want to curse. I felt like I was a coward. I felt like I didn't have the power to like be the person that I wanted it to be. So that was my punishment, you know? That was my punishment. That was realizing that I'm far away from the person who I want to be. It was, the way I would punish myself for not doing that. And to this day, every time I'm like kind of like, ooh, like intimidated about something, I remember that. And it's not like it goes away, but I realize like, okay, I have to do this. I won't feel like that. I'm not gonna die either way. And now, like when I feel it most of the time, it's usually when I'm like being a gator at weddings, and I have to talk to people who, like, are much older than me. Um, I have to take on an image or like a persona who's like supposed to be like, "Yo, stop there. Where are you heading?" or something like that. So it's um, like I said, I'm not used to talking to people like that, and it's very new to me. And like I said, for somebody who has had social anxiety, that's just a big challenge, right? But I continue doing that. You know, I didn't like talking to either like any of those uh like group of people that I stopped at the gate and be like, "Yo, where are you heading? All right, so your car's staying here, or you're just gonna drop them by and then leave and stuff like that, right?" It wasn't fun, and I don't want to do that, right? But the reason why it was hard, right? Did I say it wasn't hard? I don't even know. But the reason why I want to do it is because it was hard, and I continue to find it hard, and I continue to not want to do that. And I literally, every single time, I ask everyone in my like in that job. Actually, my uncle kind of like referred me to that job, so I only ask him, "What am I doing?" I ask him, and I was like, be like, "Do we have an event on Saturday? If we do, if you hear anything about it, sign me in." And I'm like this is literally me, like having had a, I don't know, like, like a session and just thinking about like, I don't want to do that again. People are gonna make fun of me because I heard somebody laughing at me for some reason. Or maybe like I said, actually I didn't say this. I said that on the previous video, but um, sometimes we suffer more from our heads or our thoughts than in for reality. So maybe it was just like that lady was just laughing at something else. That lady maybe was laughing at me, but who knows? Maybe she was just like, "Oh, he's so cute" and stuff like that. Um, and I'm out here thinking that people are really thinking about me. And obviously, I don't think like that. But in those moments, I started to think like that because I'm not used to them. When I go out and do stuff that I was afraid of at some point, like I don't know, like yeah, like just doing some paperwork or something like that. I used to be super scared of that. Now I do it like, bro, whatever, like whatever. If that happens, I don't care. But in these moments, since I'm not used to them, I continue to have those traits of that little kid that was afraid of certain things, you know? But that's the reason why I do them. I don't want to feel like I backed up I want to go through it. Probably have a terrible time. I didn't have a terrible time, by the way. Everybody was telling me like your first day is very mild. Um, but even if I get insulted, I get in like trouble or something like that, I will go through it. I will not back up. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If it happens, obviously in the moment I'm gonna be like, oh my god, like Earth eat me. But by the time it's done, I'm gonna be like, damn, that's it. Like that's it. Moving on to the next challenge, bro. Whereas if I don't do it, I will feel terrible. Why? Because I have a standard for myself. I have a person. I have a goal. I have, I have a person whom I want to be. And if I don't do the things that that person would do, I guess that's just like, yeah, that's just like, it just highlights how far away from that person I am. And I don't want to be far away from him. So yeah, like I said, I'm like, that's something that is making me grow a lot. Also just like interacting with people, being more like, more slice, um that's something that I really want to improve by like about me. My dad usually highlights that about me. Like, I like having somebody, because I'm very aware of like everything, guys, like for real. um I don't be say like, oh, I'm the best, or I do this, I do that, and I do it very well. I'm very self critique, I guess. Yeah, I just roast myself all the time. I nitpick on every single thing that I do wrong, and obviously I do it the opposite way as well. But mostly negatively, because I feel like that's necessary for you to grow, right? Um, but also outside pressure, it's necessary, and that's what I get from my dad usually. When we would go out and do something that I'm obviously not used to, he would just be like, "Damn, you're stupid," something like that. And you know, I guess I don't know if that's normal. Hopefully that is. But it just makes me feel like, look, look, like you need to do this. You need to go through this so that you can learn, so that you can be better. You know what I'm saying? If you stay in your own bubble, just thinking that you're doing everything well, you're not growing. You're not even trying. You know what I'm saying? So I like going out there and failing. Obviously, if I fail in front of myself, I'll be like, we failed. We tried. We try to do our best. My dad doesn't see that, but I also need that pressure. You know what I'm saying? I also need to like have the person who's gonna be like, down, you're dumb, you're doing it terrible. Like, what the hell? What is wrong with you? And also, obviously, the person who is me, who's gonna be supportive and understanding, uh, like what I'm doing and why I'm doing them, right? Because I guess you can be very, like, it can be very detrimental if you are a terrible friend to yourself. If you don't try to push yourself, if you don't try to do something that is gonna help you, if you don't try to like shame every single time you do something bad, shame yourself. You're on a diet. If you're like literally like on a diet and you're cheating constantly and you're just like, like justifying everything you do, you're a terrible friend to yourself. You're a terrible being. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, at least personally, I feel like it is that way. Um, and that brings me to my friend. I have a friend. His name is I mean, I'm not gonna say his name. Let's call him Mario. Let's call him Mario. Let's do that. Mario is trans. He's a trans man, and he has social anxiety. It you know that's actually normal at his age. He's very young. He's integrated into my like friend group with my friend. and stuff, and we would do cool things together. We would go to the beach and do like all sort of cool things, right? Very cool things, because I'm a very cool person, obviously. Um, and he has social anxiety, right? He just feels like people are judging him all the time. And by the way, if I misgender him, don't cook me, okay? It's like I'm getting accustomed to it, right? Um, we've been friends for a very long time though, so he would be afraid of a lot of things. He would care a lot about what people think, and he's very like, I guess you can think at those moments that you're doing something good for yourself, right? When you're just like helping yourself to not feel too bad about backing up. Like, okay, you're too afraid of doing this. It's okay. We don't do it, and we just move on. Good. But like I said, I feel like that just harms you more than it helps you. You know, because it's making you literally postpone the problem that you should be facing. Yeah, he would do that a lot. For example, he would be afraid of going through the male's bathroom. He would be afraid of like talking to people for certain things. He would be afraid of like walking around people because he feels judged. And I guess I can see myself in him, or like my old self at least in him. And I try to help him in a very like, obviously I try to make it as comprehensive as possible, because I want to be a person who's like, you know, empathetic. I try to be very empathetic because I've been there and I am empathetic. But for example, sometimes he would feel like doing something and I'm like, I'm gonna help you, we're gonna do it, and he tries to back up. For example, one day he wanted to go to the bathroom and he tries not to go to the bathroom when we're in public places for obvious reasons. And I told him like, I'm gonna help you. Matter of fact, we are gonna help you. Like, we're gonna finish our meal and we're gonna go to the bathroom together. And if somebody says something to you, then you know what I'm saying? Not really, but I was like just telling him like, if somebody says something to you, like just try to handle it. If you cannot handle it, we're gonna handle it. That's fine. Like, step by step, we're gonna do it. Right? He is afraid of a lot of things that are very common, very ubiquitous, very necessary for an adult, right? So I want him to grow alongside me and us, actually, because we're all young. We're, you know, getting to know ourselves. We're trying to help ourselves. And like I said, he's very like, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have the feeling of needing to do something. He can just not do it and feel bad about it, but just, you know, let go afterwards. So I try to be that person. I try to be my dad for him, you know, but in a more positive way. I tell him like, we're gonna do this, okay? Listen to me, like, do this, do that. Like, you can just talk to them, or I would show him, like, you know, I would literally embarrass myself in many situations. And this actually reminds me of like, I don't know, I think this is from Arcane, or it's probably been like featured in many shows, but it's just like the phrase of like, I'm brave because you're scared and stuff like that. Like, I would literally be obviously like, I would not want to do something stupid, but I would do something stupid in front of him just to show him that it's fine. Like, people will forget. People don't care that much. And if they don't care, I don't care. So I would just be like, how about, because he would approach me and tell me Florian, I feel bad. I I'm afraid of people. That's what he told me. He was like, I'm afraid of people. And when I turned around, I saw like a couple kind of laughing, and I got mad at that point. I was like, are they like, you know, like making fun of you or something? And he swore they weren't. But I was like, okay. We started talking about it. We were at a mall, and he was like, I just feel like people are looking at me and that they're judging me. And I was like, everybody can see you. Like, oh yeah, sorry. He said like, everybody can see me.
and I feel like they're judging me. And I was like, everybody can see you, but not everybody will remind you. Everybody can judge you, but not everybody will like remind you. Not everybody's gonna like stick around, and you don't have to care about those things. Not everybody matters. Not everyone's opinions matter. And obviously, words usually don't help, but I try to tell them like, how about we do this? You choose like a piece of clothing that you like and just go and ask somebody about it. And he was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. Why could I ask? And I was like, how about you ask just like size or like for a discount or something? And he wouldn't want to do that. Right? And obviously I insisted. He didn't want to do that. So I, you know, I did something really stupid that was stupid for me. It wasn't like on purpose. I'm gonna do this stupid thing. It was like, oh, that was stupid. So I hadn't gone out to buy clothes by myself for so long, and I forgot that, like, I forgot how sizing works. So I was like, what does this number mean? Is this small L? Like, what is this? Talking about like pants, obviously, and I was like talking about like how the sizing method works for shirts, right? Like like large, small, XL, and stuff like that. I was like, what does this mean? Like, does this mean L like 32? Does this mean L like small or something? And I was asking like, what does this mean? And he was like, oh, never mind. Let me ask YouTube. And I was like, YouTube, sorry, Google. And I was like, no, you know what? This is a good opportunity. Go and ask the lady over there. And he was like, no, like, not doing that. No. And I was like, watch me. And I went up to the lady. Obviously, it wasn't hard for me. I was asking her, like, what does this mean? She was like, what? There's no such a thing as ML or large, like, or XL. Like, this is how it works. This is like European sizing. This is how it works. I was like, oh, really? She was like, yeah. And obviously, at that point, I was like, oh, yeah, that's how it always worked. Yeah. And I feel dumb at that point. And I went up to Mario and uh and I told him, um I told him like this weird thing, this very embarrassing thing just happened to me. And I don't care anymore. Like, it just happened. I don't care anymore. Like, for me and maybe for you, it is so easy to just overcome those moments, right? Because nobody's really judging you. Like, that person's just working. That person is just working. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some people do care a lot about those things. If they do care a lot about those things, then you know that's different. That's an entire differently moment. That's an entire different situation. When we're talking about these things, you know, I guess you shouldn't feel like that. And obviously, this is very hard for me to explain because I'm a person who doesn't go through those things anymore. But at some point, I did. You know, um, and I guess I helped him do a few other things, which were, for example, buying bandages. You must know why. Buying bandages. He was very scared of that. He hadn't done it before, and he asked for my help because he didn't want to do that. He was completely afraid of it. He was like um making scenarios in his head. He was thinking like, oh, this person is gonna ask me for an ID. I don't have an ID. This person is gonna tell me like she's gonna question me why or something like that. And I don't know. I'm gonna have to like do this, do that. I don't want to do that, Gio. Can you help me? And I was like, obviously insisting, do it, do it, do it. Oh, somebody's calling me. Hold on. Um, hello, hello, hello. No, no. What is it? No, no, no. I just received the call. Um, yeah. So I helped him. I went up to the cashier. Obviously, it was easy for me. And he was like, "Hey, like, buy this for me." And I was like, "Sure." So I was just like, "Hold on." I got completely disoriented by that call. Um, yeah, went up to the cashier, asked her for bandages. And I was just like playing it cool. Like, what bandages do you want? Like, I was trying to make him interact because I knew they don't ask you for an ID. They don't do all those things, right? He was just overthinking, and obviously he made it worse for him because he created scenarios that are not even possible. The lady's not gonna ask you for IDs. She's not gonna ask you for anything. She just wants to sell stuff, right? So we were at the drugstore. We were talking to the cashier, and I was trying to get him to talk. And I guess he was confused because he was like, "They're gonna ask me for an ID, blah blah blah." And I was like, "They're not going to, right?" So yeah, we bought the bandages. I asked the lady if they do they leave rashes or something, like do they irritate your skin or something, just to like make him see that what he was buying was like good or something, right? And afterwards, after he bought it, he was super happy, right? He was like literally smiling. He was like, "Whoa, I'm so happy, thank you so much, yo." And obviously, he put them on. And I told him, like, I was being honest at that point. I was like, "You're 17, okay? You're gonna be doing this for a long time. You're gonna be talking to people. You're gonna be buying these things. You're gonna be doing so many things for so long. You must face those fears. You must not just, you know, like give in to them. You must not just run away from them, because eventually that's gonna be a terrible. Like, that's gonna be terrible if it bottles up for so long. You're gonna be a baby adult. you know, you're gonna need to be carried by someone else. You're gonna need someone else to take care of you." And I guess that's like this entire thing just turned into a social anxiety episode. I'm talking about the video, by the way. And yeah, I guess again, it's just crazy for me that I've been through those moments, like just feeling afraid of what people will think of me, about, I don't know, what people would say, what people would, like, how people would react, And obviously that's completely valid, right? Because that's what anxiety is. It's just like trying to prevent you from like dangerous moments. But that's just overthinking at the end of the day. Like, people would hardly scream at you. People would hardly hurt you. People would hardly do anything to you. And if that happens, then, well, now it is like, it is justified that you feel afraid, that you feel anxious, that you do all these things. You must know how to handle them. You must not just pretend that every single moment in your life is just like a terrible, I don't know, like a war. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're constantly in danger, because you're not. You're okay. And I guess that's what I said to him. And I constantly just text him stuff that I feel like would help him. Like, for example, my vision board. I have a vision board, and a lot of the things in the vision board are related to hesitation, not taking action. Not like I don't take action. I do, but I still want to have them there. And I showed him to him, and I'd be like read this and stuff, and I would try to help him because I see a younger version of myself in him, and I want him to grow, and I want to grow I want to grow as well. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. In regards of my friend, I guess social anxiety is something that people go through. Like, a lot of us have, probably will, maybe, if you haven't gone through it yet, go through social anxiety or any type of anxiety. And you're not alone. Like, a lot of people go through it. I've gone through it. And we will understand. We will understand. We'll try to help you I'm trying to help my friend like the best I can. Sometimes I'm not patient. Maybe that's why my dad also treats me like that sometimes. But like I said, he helped me. He helps me to be negative sometimes. I guess that's it for this video. I know that like things are very cramped up, but I'm just happy that I can, now upload this one on YouTube. And maybe in 2 parts because this shit is too long. Yeah, thank you. I hope you have a beautiful year, by the way. I don't know if I'm gonna record this. I'm recording this on December 23rd. So maybe I'll record another one. Oh, no, actually, have a Merry Christmas, bro. Have a very happy holiday. Let's go. Merry Christmas if you're watching this on like Christmas or something. Have a beautiful holiday. Enjoy it with your family. Maybe I'll record another one for New Year's Eve. Maybe talking about New Year's, my New Year's resolution, and I don't know, just things that have happened throughout this year that I don't know. Oh, my goals. I could talk about my goals. My goals. My goals. I didn't achieve most of them. I aim too high. I have high standards for myself. I was delusional at that point. Most of my goals that I needed to achieve, it helped me to have a computer, and I didn't have a computer at that point, so I wasted most of the year. But I I think I've covered most of it. I've achieved most of the goals that I listed. So maybe I can talk about it, or just talk. Just talk. Just talk, dude. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.